Hey guys, marijuana here.
Dude, this is some good weed. Dude, this weed is so good.
Now the last video was on Now This, talking about white folk. Now this one is going to be on how marijuana is racist. I want to get to the point where they have a video on how breathing is racist because Hitler was a serial breather. Also, for this video in particular, they got Wilder Valderrama's retarded cousin to make that impression authentic. So let's stop the inevitable and jump right in to this history lesson.
Stop saying marijuana. Why? Because it's racist as
I love how they got a guy that's so Latino, he can't help but say ass fuck as opposed to as fuck, like a normal human being. And on top of that, they start that video with that punchy, colorful language to establish the fact that they mean business, boy. It couldn't just be, hey dude, don't say marijuana because it's racist, man. It's gotta be marijuana is racist as fuck.
The term was used to knock on people of color and their devilish ways. Now, the word itself isn't inherently racist, but it was used by American prohibitionists to exploit racism and xenophobia.
Marijuana's racist, guys. Burn all ye who used the wretched term of marijuana. You can't use...
Wait, what?
Now, the word itself isn't inherently racist.
I mean, I wanted to make an entire video, but now I can't because he just made my point for me.
The word itself isn't inherently racist.
Why would I want to continue making this video if Enrique Estrada himself just said that the word isn't inherently racist?
But it was used by American prohibitionists to exploit racism and xenophobia. So by using the M word, you're ignoring a long history of oppression against Mexican immigrants and African Americans.
See, I think our boy Alejandro Ortega Ortiz Alba Rodriguez here might be on the thick side of things. He says the word isn't inherently racist, but still goes on to say that it's used by American prohibitionists to exploit racism and xenophobia. But he doesn't say how, and even in watching the rest of the video, he glosses over the fact that he mentioned that the word isn't inherently racist, and its foundation in racism is based on this claim that he pulls directly out of his burrito.
But the term was then popularized in the 1930s by this man. Harry Anslinger was the director of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics from 1930 to 1962. Now, Anslinger believed that marijuana influenced black and brown people to commit murder and other violent crimes, which is ridiculous because all I see people do when they smoke is sit on their couch, watch TV, eat munchies, and fall asleep.
Now, while I do think that the persecution of people with possession of marijuana and its classification as a Schedule I drug is inherently stupid, he does make a point to mention the only thing he sees when people do marijuana is the stereotype of eating munchies and watching a movie on the couch. Obviously. But the point here is that it's in the violence that comes with the distribution of marijuana. It's not in the users of marijuana.
So his solution was to launch a vicious propaganda campaign against marijuana and associate it with all inferior races and social deviants.
He also makes a point of mentioning that they made a campaign that showed inferior races and their use of marijuana only to use an anti-marijuana commercial that shows only white people.
You might argue that marijuana lost its prejudice bite years ago, but you can't ignore the racial implications of its introduction to the American lexicon.
You literally said, Alejandro, that the word itself isn't inherently racist, but now you can't ignore the racial implications of its lexicon. Are you retarded? Are you retarded? Are you retarded? Are you retarded? See, contradictions are often one of the biggest indicators of an argument being pulled directly out of your ass. Here, you made a video stressing the fact that we shouldn't use language that offends you, and your argument is that some people who you claim were racist used the word. That's pretty much it. I'm not trying to misconstrue the opinion presented, but you can't police language living in a country where free speech is protected. And even more, when you can't even come up with a coherent reason why you shouldn't use the word marijuana.
We're still trying to fight the negative stigma that clings onto a plant in 2018, all because of white men such as Jeff Sessions and Steve Alford who keep making terrible remarks when trying to make marijuana the culprit for crime.
See, I knew it. I knew it here. The entire video is to disguise them shitting on the white man. Why would you stress that point unless this is clearly a video designed to shit on the whites yet again? What about Ron Rice? He's black and currently opposed to legalization of recreational marijuana. Will Jones is another African-American advocate against marijuana.
So what's the right word to use? Cannabis. Just call it by its Latin name and you'll not only be technically correct, but also politically correct.
Aren't you guys the one calling everyone fascist? But you want to tell me what I can and can't say? Also, you aren't technically correct by saying cannabis instead of marijuana. Both are terms that can be used interchangeably. It also doesn't help that he has a smug face you just want to stick your dick in. Well, that's the video. It was a hard one to get through. What is the world we're going to eventually live in with BuzzFeed and Now This if they become mainstream and they breed this following of political correctness to the point where it hurts having to ask everybody what pronouns they use? Is this what happens when we put soy in our milk? Whatever happened to America? I thought this was the land of the free, where I could say marijuana if I want, and I could wave my dick around just like God intended in the Bible. Leviticus 7:16. He with the rod from God shall have the freedom to say as he please. Well, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the like button and do all those. I'm going to go figure out different ways to use a Canon lens to physically canonize myself under the Catholic Church.
When I see you again, 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 when I see you again.